you want to know the secret to having a crystal clear aquarium water so when your friends and neighbors stop over and see your aquarium, they say, "Wow, how is your tank so clear? How'd you do that?" Well, one of the secrets we use is what's called a polishing pad. The second secret I'll share with you at the end of this video. But what a polishing pad does is it takes out very small particles in your water, very fine particles in the micron range. We'll talk about that in just a few moments here. Now this comes for a filter pad type system if you have that, which we're going to talk about in this video. But you could also get this type of material. The exact same material is available in filter socks. And I don't want to go into a lot of detail on the filter socks, but these are what you see in high-end aquariums like reef tanks and saltwater tanks, in restaurants and hotels that have that super clear water. We use filter socks. And what these do is they actually go down in a filter below the aquarium called a sump. And we take water from the aquarium, we put it through these filter socks, and it dumps through here into the sump, into the reservoir. It's pumped back up to the aquarium, and it traps all the debris that comes through there in these filter socks. Now again, these are very fine filter socks. They can clog up fairly quickly. So this is the material that we're using in sump filtration. We can use the exact same material in your home filter tank. It can work in a hang on the back filter. It can work in a canister filter. It can work in a wet dry filter. But the challenge with these filter socks is the fact that they can clog up because generally there's not a pre-filter. These are the main filter. So the water comes from your tank. Sometimes you might have a sponge, but most of the time you don't. And the water comes directly into these filter socks and they begin to clog up. And as they clog up, the water can overflow. So you got to change them regularly. To make our filter socks or this particular filter pad last longer, the polishing pad lasts longer, is we actually will layer it with another type of filter. In this case, I've got our blue classic here. This is a very open weave. You can see the fibers are pretty open, and this traps large to medium size to sometimes small particles. And we stack this on top of the polishing pad. The water flows through the top of this pad first, trapping those larger particles and medium to small particles, and then it goes into the polishing pad, which traps the fine particles to get that tank crystal clear. You can also use a pad like our dual density. The thing about dual density is it's got a very open fiber top and then a very tight network down below. Not as tight as the polishing pad, but very similar. But this one traps large to medium particles, the lower pad traps small particles, and then our polishing pad traps very fine particles. So as that water flows through there, it's going to trap all those guys so clear water comes out the other side. They're just designed to be layered, and now instead of having to change it real often with my filter socks or in my saltwater aquarium or my sump type aquarium, I can make this last a whole lot longer. It won't get clogged up as quickly. Now these are available in different types of micron rating, and the human eye really only can see down to about 50 or 60 microns if we look at things, see particles and dust in the air. And we've actually got filter pads that'll get it down to 50 microns. It'll take it down to 100 microns. Now realistically, 50 microns is actually much smaller than the 100 microns. It's got a smaller pore size to it. So whenever I go to an established aquarium, I'll begin with my 100 micron. I'll use that in conjunction with some other type of filter pad to pre-filter it. I'll use this as a final filter, and it'll get all that small stuff out of there. But I don't want to clean it as often, so I'll begin with 100, and I might switch over and go to a 50 micron pad later on. Now these pads are really easy to cut. As I said, they can work in all different types of filters. This is a template here for a canister filter. It's a Penplex Cascade filter, just one of the filters I have. And you can just take and cut your little pads out. I like to make a cardboard template, therefore it's real easy to take and just cut a bunch of these little guys out and keep a stack up, and when I get ready to change my filter, I just grab a new one, I can throw it away. Now you can also rinse these pads if you don't want to throw them away. On small tanks, it's easy to rinse the pads out. Just go to the sink, rinse them out, and gets most of the debris and stuff that's been trapped inside. If you want to get it super clean, then you're going to use something where we use bleach in it. We physically put it in a washing machine, we put bleach in there, and that gets all the organic material trapped there back out, so it's basically like new again. We give those exact steps on our website. Now, the cool part about it is, this pad comes, this is what you get in that pack. It is huge. It's 2 feet by 3 foot long. And all you do is cut out with a pair of scissors. This stuff is very thin. You just take a pair of scissors and you cut this out to any size you want to make it. It could be a big pad, small pad. If it's really fine, it's generally the small pads I will throw away and put new ones on. If you want to rinse and clean the other ones, you're welcome to do that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this filter pad is all you really need. It gets you down to, this particular one gets you down to 50 microns, which means, as I mentioned earlier, you can only see 50 or 60 microns. People with super eyesight might be able to go to 40 microns. But your water's clear. But let's say you're an extremist. Let's say you sit up at night and you worry about those finer particles that are microscopic, less than 50 microns. What do I need to do to get rid of them? Well, we do have a product called Cloud Away. This particular version is freshwater. It's a water clarifier. And what this does, it brings all the particles together. So all those fine particles, microscopic particles you cannot see, we're going to bring those together and clump them together with larger particles, and that will be removed now by our filter material. It'll also, if the particles are really large, they may fall out of the water column and fall over the gravel. So this is for the extreme people. Do I recommend it to everybody? No, I don't recommend this. But if you really want to go less than 50 microns of polishing power, this is what you need. Ultra, super clean, super clear water. But for most people, this polishing pad, along with a series of other pads, mechanical filter, trap it, and then get down to this final pad, is all that we need to keep our tanks super clear. Thank you very much for taking time to watch this video. I hope it helps you. We're going to have a lot more valuable tips out there, so continue to watch our videos, subscribe if you like us, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.